Yes, Councilor.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we invite the people from Mohegan Sun and Suffolk Sterling Raceway to a meeting of April 1st and have an open meeting at 7 p.m. for them to show us their new plan and to televise this and invite our citizens to come to question them and let their feelings be known, and that after that meeting, we send a copy of the tape of that meeting to the Casino Commission. Let their feelings be known, and that after that meeting, we send a copy of the tape of that meeting to the Casino Commission.
Okay, so we have a motion, and I would ask you if you would include in that motion that they would be here to discuss their proposal.
And not negotiations, yes, not negotiations.
Okay.
And that meeting be held in a venue large enough to hold the attendance, the coming.
Would you suggest the coming school on April 1st at our next meeting? Would that be good?
Correct.
Okay, so we put all that motion together that we're inviting the Mohegan Sun and Suffolk Downs to come and make a presentation in a public session to discuss their proposal to develop.
And then we advertise that session to the town of Winthrop's residents.
And that we advertise it in the local paper.
In the local paper, correct.
Is there a second?
Oh, I'd like to include our legal counsel to be present at that as well.
We just tell them. We just tell them.
We can invite them wherever we want. We're just setting up the
To
package.
make sure that they're there.
I'll second.
And we will also draw the agenda for it. You know, the agenda, we'll have approval before it goes. Seconded by Councilor Del Vento.
I'm a second, and I'd like to offer an amendment to the motion that their presentation be no longer than 15 minutes. I don't want them hijacking our time.
Could I say that instead of no longer than 15 minutes, we will determine, in other words, after we meet with Bruce and set this up, that...
Okay, I mean, I'll go along with reasonable, but I really don't want them doing a dog and pony show.
Oh, no,
Uploaded stuff.
Do you want to do 15 minutes and then we can extend that? Or do we want to just say that it'd be a reasonable amount of time?
Reasonable amount of 15 minutes. And we're going to request
I want to see it all.
at first that what they're presenting is going to be requested to us.
Right.
With the agenda on the Thursday, so
Right.
we'll get to see it and time it and know how long it's going to be.
And then I believe that night we could say you're limited to...
20 minutes, 15.
Is that okay with everybody?
No, that's not fair to them to have them send us a presentation and we tell them we're going to limit them. We should set it up front saying...
I'm not sure I want to be fair to them, I'm sorry.
No, but I mean, it would be better to tell them they have 15 minutes, give us all the crap you can in 15 minutes instead of having them do the dog and pony show that
All
they're
right,
used to.
we have a motion on the table to have the meeting. We have an amendment to the motion that we limit it to 15 minutes. Do we have a second to that amendment?
I'll second that.
The amendment has been seconded. Is there any discussion on the
Yes.
amendment?
When are we concerned?
Yeah, Council President, you know, if we limit them to their presentation, which I think should be reasonable, but I don't want them just to give us all the good stuff. I want to see the whole thing. Doesn't everybody want to see what they have to say entirely? I mean, to see...
Respectfully, they've never given us negatives.
Time out, through the chair. Linda, Russ, you were up.
Council Kelly.
I'd like to see what the presentation's going to be. You start limiting them, then we're only going to see what they want us to see. Do you know what I'm saying?
Russ, hold on, council discussion. Russ?
I would put it maybe a 30-minute, not to exceed, and you can decide at that point whether you want to extend it or whether that should be it. I think it should be discretion of the council president, not to exceed 30 minutes.
Respectfully, I would be shocked and probably drop dead of a heart attack if they actually presented anything other than, as, to quote Bruce, unicorns and show ponies, because they're not going to give us anything other than what they've disclosed publicly in our letter, that there's no impact on Winthrop at all. They're not going to tell us that we're not going to get anything other than their best case scenario. So I don't see why we have to be subjected to 30 minutes of BS versus 50.
On the amendment to limit it to 15 minutes, is there any further discussion?
Yeah.
Councilor Mayo.
The only thing about limiting them is
now they come back and they say, well, we didn't get a chance to talk to you because you cut it back. So, you know, my feeling is they come in, they make their stuff, and look, this is the responsibility of the people in town.
That's right.
If the people in town show up and make their life hell after their presentation, then they'll get the point across and they'll wish they had only taken 5 minutes.
Yes.
Is there any further discussion on the amendment, Council?
Same way, the more they talk about, the more little things you can pick out, and someone might see something different than someone else as they're talking, and that's what I'd like people to do, so that we have an opportunity to hit them at each part of their presentation, and for the council to have the opportunity to cross-examine them on something.
On the amendment, any further discussion?
Just
Council?
that this is a very big decision here with this casino, and I think we need to know as much about it as we can.
I
And I don't think we should be putting a limit on it
Any
unless
Sorry.
it gets redundant or it's just not new information.
And I believe that if they go overboard, then I'm in control of the meeting.
Right.
So, Council Sanford?
And I kind of agree with Craig down the end. The fact is, if we end up going to arbitration, and they argue the fact that we didn't give enough time to make a proper presentation, it could come back to hurt us. I think it should be at the discretion of the council president.
On the amendment, to limit them to 15 minutes. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor of limiting them to 15 minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
No.
So they will not be limited to 15 minutes. Do we want to put anything in the language that they will be limited to a reasonable amount of time?
You're chairing it, you can stop.
Mr. President, I'll move that we amend the motion to limit it to at the discretion of the council president.
I'd second that motion.
Okay, the motion's been made and seconded that it be limited to, at the discretion of the council president. All those in favor of that amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. The motion now stands as amended, that they will make a presentation on April 1st at the regular council meeting. The length of the presentation will be at the discretion of the council president.
It'll be 7 p.m. in the Cummings
7 p.m. in the Cummings School. Right. It'll be a presentation on our agenda. Is there any discussion on that motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you.
Council President.